For Angie?
Angie,
Yes, thank you.
welcome. How's it going?
Good, how about you?
I am terrible.
Why?
I should probably finish my sentence. I'm terribly good.
That was good. That was good.
Cheesy. Thanks for playing along. Happy Monday.
Thank you, you as well.
If you're just starting yours, you're doing really well.
Pardon me?
If you're just starting your Monday, you're doing really well.
Am I?
Well, I mean,
so?
having picked up people as early as like 4 o'clock this morning who wished for a later morning, I would say you're like knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
Did you say?
Uh-huh.
But I doubt you're just starting your day.
No, I woke up at 7 today.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I went to work and then going to work again.
Oh, you had a split shift today.
Yeah.
At the same place or at different places?
No, different place.
Ah, you're doing the grind.
Yes.
Oh my, I notice you.
What about you? How's work?
Today's been good.
Yeah.
I'm always grateful when I have like a day when my vehicle is still in one piece.
Okay, there you go.
You know, like I'm a good driver, but I know there's so much beyond my control. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything could happen along the way.
That's
So
really true, actually.
so I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for warm weather.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of slushy today, but like that's not a big deal.
It
Like
was snowing a bit this morning, though.
it was definitely snowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then now the weather has changed.
Yep.
So it's not too...
I want to take credit for that.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
See, you're the only one today who's recognized that. All right. Tell me your story.
My story.
Yes.
What would you like to know?
Okay, I would like to know, here's my observations, just initial observations. You look extremely young, and yet you have a certain confidence about you, which is impressive.
Thank you.
Which betrays more. Let's start there.
Me, I am 19.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm 19.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated high school. I want to go. I'm going to say next year in this upcoming September.
Yeah.
And as like a legal assistant, so paralegal.
Yeah.
In law and what else? Right now I'm working.
Yeah. Tell me what your superpower in life is.
My superpower?
I
What
do.
is my superpower?
Yeah.
I can read minds.
Can you? Tell me what I'm thinking. I'm gullible too. See, that's the thing is, not many 19-year-olds display a sense of, I don't know, there's a sense of equality in engaging with others that you
Yeah.
seem to have that most don't seem to have. So maybe a follow-up question, and we'll get back to the superpower in just a moment, is do you feel like you're grown up yet, or in the grown up league?
Grown up?
Yeah.
I feel like in a sense yes, and in a sense no.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, well, because I'm turning 20 this year, so I feel like I have to have more in that sense of like growing up, right? I think there's more responsibility. A bit obviously still young, but with
Yeah.
that age, there's still a bit more responsibility. Right?
Sure.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Back to the superpower. By the way, you can also dish back these questions too if you like.
Okay.
My friends are like, why do you always get to ask these really high? And you never answer them, they say. I'm like, oh, yeah. No, I'm open. I never ask questions that I'm not willing to answer. Let's put it that way.
Okay. That's good. That is really good.
Yeah, that's one of my lines that I draw.
Yeah.
But there's not much I'm not willing to not ask.
That's fair.
Like if you're going to ask what size curlers I use in my hair, I would say that's classified. Because no one's noticed my efforts yet.
That's good. What about you though? Like,
Okay.
Well, how old are you?
This will be fun. Take a guess.
I want to say like 25, 26.
25, 26?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're being serious?
Am I wrong?
You are wrong.
Really? But like, how much?
Just a few.
Just a few?
Yeah.
Okay, like up, down?
I just turned 18.
You did not just turn 18.
I did not just turn 18.
Like, there's no way.
Thank you for telling me I look old.
No, because I was like, because most 18-year-olds I feel like are like really timid.
Sure.
So it's like, you know, like there's no way.
Yeah. Okay. And yet you're not seeing me as timid.
No, not at all.
I'm an introvert.
You're not an introvert. Complete opposite.
All right. So 25, 26 was your best guess. Give me 2 more decades and you're on point.
Oh wait, but you look young.
I have been told as much.
You look young. You
I
have like
know.
a youthful like spirit, you know?
I've heard as much.
Yeah.
That's another way of saying I lack a maturity. Thank you. I tease. No,
Some people are very like serious sometimes, you know?
I'm grateful for that. No, sorry. No, I'm not grateful. I'm grateful that I have some suspicions of how, but I think I've retained that sort of playfulness, that silliness, the goofiness, that creativeness, the sense of wonder. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm grown up. I definitely am doing grown up things.
Yeah.
But there's also that kidness that is still alive, and I'm really
Yeah.
grateful for that. Yes. So honestly, I am 40. I'll be 45 this year.
Wow.
I know.
No way.
I know.
I don't believe you.
Okay, let me show you the
Maybe
evidence.
Even maybe like early 30s.
Early 30s,
Hard to
maybe.
push it even.
Man, I must have someone really good to get me this fake document.
This is a fake.
A really good fake, right?
That's crazy.
I know. So, there is that. And the cool thing is, that's why I like interacting with you. And people in your generation is, I don't know, there's just this sense for me where I've seen a lot over my time. And in seeing a lot, it's not game over for me yet. It's not game over at all. Like, I still feel the sense of like, there's so much life to live, there's so much to experience and explore and walk into, and I'm so thankful that I get to be in that space, right?
Yeah.
I like being a realist, so I like seeing how things truly are. Like the previous ride, she was just a couple years ahead of you, and she was working through some heavy stuff, right? So even being able to roll up the sleeves and say, life is rough, and here's the forecast that I would, that I gave her for consideration of how she could progress in a way that still kept her intact, right? There's still that side of life, but I don't know, to still see like the silver lining of clouds. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Have you been like doing Uber for a while?
I started 5 years ago.
Okay. And I'm sure you like it.
Love it.
Yeah. You get to
It's subtle.
meet new people.
I
Hear
do.
great stories.
I do.
Do you
Yeah.
ever like run into the same people sometimes or not?
Occasionally.
Really?
Occasionally. It does happen. And it's a lot of fun. Like yesterday, I was driving a couple to the airport. They were Russian. And we had a great conversation. But it wasn't until we got to the airport that he's like, just so you know, I recognize you, he said in his app. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you were the one that was on the news and they did all the stories about you in Uber like 4 or 5 years ago. And he said, I'm surprised I can't even do a Russian accent. I'm terrible at accents. And he's like, and I rode with you like as well. And we had a great conversation. I'm like, oh my goodness, this whole time you knew this? And I'm just like talking to you as if like you're brand new. And yeah.
Wait, news for what though?
So back in the day, like when I first started, I enjoy what I do. I started sharing a lot of my videos of my experience as an Uber driver with my like online. It took off in a really brilliant way. Eventually Ubers noticed and they're like, hey, we love what you're doing, and they came and they started sending all the news people to ask me for my perspective on things that are happening in Uber and stuff like that. It's that kind of thing.
That's so nice. Do you still do that?
Creating videos?
Yeah.
I still love creating videos, absolutely. Yes, I definitely still do that. That's a lot of fun. I only do it when I have consent. For example, like this conversation, I would love to share this conversation, but I also loved prefacing it by saying, I would love for you to say no. Love for you to say no, because no is an awkward thing for people in this culture to say.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of like people pleasing in a way.
Yes, and I want to calibrate for that, and that's why I say I like practicing no's with people, especially who don't have enough practice saying no. So like the fact that I love sharing my experiences, and they're beautiful experiences, and they inspire so many people, and wonderful reasons why I do it. However, I'm actually going to hit the next one, and can I make it there? Maybe I can. Oh look, I think I can. This is such a tight spot to sneak in traffic, but we're good. We're good. But all that to say, as much as I love the reasons for why, I also love the reasons of helping someone in the opportunity that could be to be able to check in with themselves and say, but is this good for me, or does this resonate? Because it's not for everyone, right? Yeah. So if you would be happy to share our time together, I would love to feature this. But if it's one of those things where you're like, I actually value my privacy, I'd love to hear your hell no.
No, honestly, I don't even mind at all.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind as long as you tell me like your content thing. I want to
Sure.
like see it.
You want to come along and see what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so curious
You'll
to
have you'll have so much to like. You'll know all about me by the end of.
I love.
Thank you.
That's so nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of what makes me tick and what I value in life and why I do what I do.
I feel like you're the type of person where I'd be scared to like make you mad.
Really?
Have you gotten that ever?
Like where I get mad at someone?
Yeah. I feel like because you're so nice.
I see.
So,
That's a
like,
good
if you were
question.
to be mad, it would be like.
You know what's funny is some people have said you're like, this looks too good to be true. I've got that, and I've got some saying. I don't know if you've watched Breaking Bad, by the way.
No, I've heard it was good though.
Okay, there's a character on there who is so stellar in the way he presents himself.
Yeah.
Until you see his devious side and how deep he is in this, and they're like, "We think you're on that radar, Biniam."
Yeah, a little side to you.
So the way I figure is I engage, like I know how to place my boundaries, and so before I ever lose it, I place like check posts or like safety perimeter far from that zone where I lose it, and I never get close to where I lose it. So I'm able to communicate well in advance and say, just so you know, strike 1 out of 3, strike 2, and by strike 3, we're nowhere near my losing it zone, but it's just the consequences are starting to be implemented as we go along, and the consequences that help me keep safe in the sense that I'm like, hey, I never have to like get into that zone of like.
So you're like a boundaries type of person. Then.
Definitely so. Yeah. So
Which is good.
the niceness fools a lot of people. The niceness is the kind of thing a lot of people look at and say, how do you not get taken advantage of? And honestly, should I go to the front door?
Honestly, yeah, whatever. I'm in no rush.
There's a door right here. Cool. Yeah, but no, I would say it's at their peril that they think that, because there's a lot of generous and expressive sides, but there's also a clear side where I'm like, actually, I know exactly where I stand on this one here, and I'm going to communicate that to you in case you did not know. But next time we're going to have intense conversations with me. Intense conversations aren't where I'm like really angry. It's more like where I just ask really hard questions that really make a person sweat, because the implications that I draw, I feel I'm being fair with my implications. Let me go out of the way here. I feel I'm really fair with my implications and saying, here's a story that I find compelling right now that makes sense in my mind, and I'm going to tell you that, but I'd love for you to prove me wrong. So here's what I'm seeing, here's what I'm concluding. Where did I miss it here?
Yeah.
Is there something I should be considering in the midst of all this? And if there is, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Love being proven wrong. But if it's not, then I'm going to like tighten the noose a little bit and say, so let's.
You're the first person I've met that likes to be proven wrong.
I do, and do you know why? Because I try to, like, as much as possible in my perspective, I like giving the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, yeah.
I like seeing the best story possible in this scenario, and I try to apply that. But when it becomes clear that there's more afoot, then I'm like, okay, let's have this conversation now, because I really like good quality connections. I like this conversation, for example, right? So yeah, it's at a person's peril that they presume I'm too nice and that they can take advantage, because there's. Do you know who I love the best in the world?
No.
Me.
Oh.
And that sounds egotistical, but I really appreciate, like, I don't struggle with FOMO, for example.
Okay.
And so for me, the way I literally feel is wherever I am, that's where my party is, because I'm the one who's
That's
there.
honestly really good, because a lot of people
Yeah.
actually, struggle with FOMO.
Yeah, I know. And along those lines, that's why I don't feel like I'm ever missing out. Like this conversation, for example, I so loved it. Like I enjoyed your company immensely. But for me, it's like wherever I am, they're going to have an amazing time because I was there, because I already indulged in me, right? And I indulged in me not in a way I'm like, oh, I'm all that. It's more like, no, I just genuinely appreciate what makes me me. I love the works. I love my story. I love the process that I've been on, hard as it was, you know. I love where I'm at presently, and I love sharing that. And then it takes someone who also really genuinely appreciates that to be able to share time with me.
That's fair.
I'm not in places where I'm not appreciated.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, oh, I'm quite content in a grateful way. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Wow, you're like one like of the first people I've met even that's just very outgoing even like to this extent too as well. But it's really nice, honestly. I feel like we need more people like you. For
Thank
sure.
you. You know, that's why I'm doing what I do.
Yeah.
Like conversations like this, I feel when I say hell yes,
Yeah.
it sparks encouragement for others
Yeah.
who needed to hear it,
Yeah.
right? It gives hope for others who are like, I did not know this was possible, right? And for me, I personally feel this would be a crime if I kept this for myself.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, I get to experience some beautiful things, but there's just so much to share with the world, honestly, and I'm more than happy to say there's plenty, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. What was your name, sorry?
That's okay. I'll tell you. Angie, what's yours name?
My name is Angelina, but
Angelina.
I do go by Angie, yes.
Okay, Angelina. I'm Binyam.
Binyam?
Yes.
Nice to
It's a pleasure.
meet you.
Likewise. Have a fantastic shift.
You as well.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
May I part with something for you?
Yes.
I'm just going to say this as an observation. So for when I say this, it's not a compliment.
Okay.
So you're gorgeous.
Thank you.
That's just observation.
Okay, thank you.
I'll compliment you in just a moment. It's just observation, which you didn't have to work hard at. But in the midst of your gorgeousness, like that's what the world right now gives a lot of attention to. They read a book by the cover.
Yeah.
And I imagine in some sense your challenge will be, how do I get seen for more than just my looks? How do I get seen for who I truly am? Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for those who are going to identify.
Yeah.
Aside from, like, there's nothing wrong with being gorgeous,
Yeah.
and you are. But also look for the ones who are going to be able to say, in addition to your gorgeousness, I value this. and
Yeah.
value. So here's my compliment. I appreciate your confidence and inquisitiveness.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's why I was saying, like, 19, eh? You're a little ahead of most 19-year-olds that I get to interact with, but I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
I
dear.
do appreciate you. It was lovely meeting you.
Likewise, though.
Yeah.
I hope we see each other again.
I hope so too, honestly. I really do hope so.
Well, I go to
Yeah.
lots of EDM raves, and so if you ever are in that
I've
scene,
honestly always wanted to go to a rave.
Really?
So hopefully maybe one day if I
if
go,
you see me on the
I will
dance
see
floor,
you.
oh, you'll notice me.
Oh,
Come-
I believe you.
Come and say hello. I'll be
Okay.
thrilled.
I will also keep this.
Yes.
And
I'd love to hear
I'll
from
see
you,
that.
darling.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a lovely day.
Rock your shift, dear.
Thank you.
Okay.